All right, welcome everybody. I have with me the one and only legendary Viany. Viany, I still don't know how to say your last
Yep.
name, but
Meaning,
it's you have one of
meaning you
those.
haven't put it yet in your TT.
I
That's the
seriously
honest
I have not.
meaning. Okay. Gefa. I don't even know how TechnoTutor would pronounce it though. I haven't tried it. So
Yeah, I don't know. Mine's like the American version of the sound, so you know, it might butcher it.
mhm.
But Vianney, you're so legendary. You kind of remind me of those guys who are so famous that they can just go by one name. Like, the soccer superstars, well, football, as you would say it overseas, like Pele, or
Yeah.
Messi. You just Vianney. Put that on a jersey.
Yeah. And that's also how I now introducing myself because nowadays you have people, I do this, I do that, I do that. No, my one liner is I am Vianney creating a better world, the one creating a better world. So
Hey,
that's
I
my
love
liner.
that.
Who are you? Vianney creating a better world. So that's my one liner now.
Wow, that's I'm gonna use that as well. Because you and I both work on the exact same mission, creating a better world, right? Through disrupting the education system,
Yeah.
disrupting the political system, all of this. And by disrupting, I don't mean destroying it. I mean taking what's best and then supporting that and innovating on top of that. And so we got so much we're gonna go into. I'm excited. I'm okay. Just for anyone who doesn't know who Vianney is, I'll give you a little background and then I'll let you share the story. But Vianney and
Yeah.
I met through some different groups. Almost you could almost call it like a secret society. And we're both very determined on becoming billionaires, getting into politics, changing the system, like big picture stuff. But we realize that takes day-to-day discipline. And both Vianney and myself had backgrounds in kind of the corporate system, like, some success there. But Vianney used to be a chemist. But now he has totally transformed himself. He's like an alchemist now, really. And he is heading up, changing Germany, Berlin specifically, where he is, and just he reminds me of real life James Bond. So anyway, Vianney, could you just share a little bit with the people listening, like a little bit about you and why do you do what you do?
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Mitch, for having me and giving me also another opportunity to actually talk about these things because nowadays people don't talk about things like this anymore. People want to talk about it, but they don't. I don't know why. Maybe because they are scared, or maybe because they don't just have a place to talk about it. But a little bit about myself. I grew up in Cameroon and I left there when I was like 19, 20 to move to Germany to then continue with my studies. And when I came in Germany, I then did study chemistry. So, and after I studied chemistry, because back in the day, even before like I moved into Germany, I was always not, I wouldn't use the word happy, but I wasn't okay, but I didn't know why. And I always hear this, okay, go to school, get your high school degree, and then life is gonna be fine. I did that, and they said, no, no, go to university, get your degree, and then life is gonna be fine. And then I did that. And when I got my bachelor degree, I was like, this is not good. Like, I don't know, but this is not good. Like, this is not good. And then I kept on with my master degree. But after I finished my bachelor degree, I was really disappointed because when you graduate, it's just a piece of paper that they give you. And then now they say, now you have your degree. I'm like, is that it? Like, come on, it's got to be more than this. And also me seeing what you do to get that degree. You don't do much. It's just like copy paste. Then you go into the lab, they show you what experiment to do. You just perform those experiments. And at the end of that, like 2 months, and then you write your thesis. That's it. You get your degree. And then I was like, I don't know anything. I don't feel like I've learned anything, but here I am. I have a degree. And from a good university, though, like a very prestigious university here in Berlin, which is one of the top universities in Europe. So I was like, this is not good. Like when I came on with my master's degree, but when I was doing it, I was already looking like, what is it that I can do, or what is it that out there, because I know for a fact that I'm not gonna end my life like this. So that's then what led me into um, a lot of stuff like drop shipping, a lot of business, online stuff, trading. And I was just looking like, okay, what is out there that I can do? And I remember when I did my first drop shipping thing, I was blown away. I just think someone can buy something from you. That was like an experiment. So that's what led me into this path. And later on, I settled on Amazon FBA. That's the one that I really settled on it. But I kept on doing that, and it was really a mess, I would say.
Yeah.
And fast forward, I then in 2019, I then get into Gene. At that time, I was really, really, really frustrated because as I when I found about that, I knew that okay, I'm not gonna work a corporate. I'm not gonna be a corporate guy. So I kept on doing my master up to a point I said, okay, I have these degrees. What do I do with it? And then I went on to work in a company, but I knew that okay, this is just something I'm gonna do. I don't know for how long until I figure out business. So I then kept on doing that, and when I was then doing that in 2016, that's then where I started with personal development world. When I was taking like program on like how to trade or how to do drop shipping and even Amazon FBA, I always hear that your income or your life or whatever is that you want is the reflection of who you are as a person. So it then led me to books, Think and Grow Rich, and that's how the journey started. And then later on in 2019, I discovered Your Wish, Your Command from my cousin. But at that time, I went through so many things like Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Jim Rohn, all those guys, and I was really, really disappointed and sad because after all those studies and Jim Rohn, all of that, my life was just like getting worse and worse. And I just couldn't figure out because now you know more than the average person, meaning I cannot just go back into the corporate world and say, well, I'm here, I know too much of like what's possible. But somehow I wasn't living it. It wasn't physical. It was in my mind. In my mind, I was the best. Like, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that. And nothing was actually like really in the physical world changing. And when I say change, people will say, well, I'm feeling better now, and I'm just happier now, which is fine. I had that, but what I mean specifically was in terms of lifestyle. Like when you get into the law of attraction, you go on YouTube, you say lifetimes, you watch videos. I don't know if you do that. I still do that. I used to do that a lot. Like watch the lifestyle of millionaires and billionaires. And like, yeah, okay, that's how you do it. That's how you did. So I was working on that and actually not living it, because I also remember 2017, 2018, it was really a dark period of my life because at that time I how can you say, I lost the place that I was staying at, so I had to live then with friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never shared this part of my life.
Wow.
Like I had to, the place that I was living at, I had to leave that place, and I couldn't find a place. So I had to crash at a friend place. She had a room somewhere, and luckily, like that room was just there like that. So I asked her, "Hey, I'm looking for a place to stay." She said, "Well, I have this place. I'm living with my parent, but I have this place that you can crash on." So I stayed at that place for maybe like 3 months before I
Wow.
found a place. And at that time, I was into listening to Kevin Trudeau, Gene. No, I wasn't into Gene yet. I was listening to this Jim Rohn, like The Day That Turns Your Life Around. I've heard that audio so many times. I don't know if you know that audio, like
Not
6
not that one
hours audio.
specific, but okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I went through that one like a song. And
Yeah.
then later on, I find Kevin Trudeau, and then I started with Your Wish, Your Command. I did the same thing in 2019 when my cousin shared that with me. I was like, what is this thing? I thought, okay, 2 months after, maybe like 1 month after I received your wish command, I joined. I'm like, okay, like just join. And I joined it and I realized that it's the same pattern. Like I'm receiving a lot of knowledge, and Kevin Trudeau has that thing that he really structured information. But still, I was like, okay, I have information, but my lifestyle is not changing. So that was then the point for me. Then I went to my first gene event, then in Los Cabos 2020. And that's then where we kind of like a little bit get in touch, but not really. Because at that event, the one that I really like had conversation with was Jessica. At that time, Jessica was really like hair, like she cut her hair and she was just like energetic. So that's how we met there. Also with Muge, I also talked a lot with Muge there and Benjamin. I saw every, because I remember one morning we were swimming with every Jessica and some other guys. We were floating in the water. I was like, how do you float? Because I cannot really do that. So, and it then led me, but at that event, we really didn't connect. But after the event, that's then when we actually connect. And Benjamin told me about the book Unlock for Knox. And I was like, okay, cool. I wanna read it. So that's in how I get introduced to the book and TechnoTutor. And man, it has been a ride. So when I get introduced to it, when I first got it, when Kian shared to me about it, I was just like, okay, I want this. Like, I don't know, but you're talking about the mind, subconscious mind, whatever that is. Okay, I want to see what it is. And he shared with me a video of Max like reading. I was like, God damn it, like I want this. I want to experiment this. Like, I really didn't know what to expect. But what really motivated me to join was when I shared my vision with Kian. I told him that I'm building this Amazon business, but what I really want is to build Africa. And then he just listened. And then he said to me, do you know what my goal is? I said, no. He said, it's to build the entire world. I was like, I'm in. I want, because for me, that was the first time that I actually talked to someone, a young person, who actually care, who actually had that kind of vision. Because every people around me, the only thing that they had was like, okay, I just want to make more money and stuff like that. But no one really had a bigger vision than mine. So that's why I was like, okay, I want to be I want to be part of this. So when I first joined, I bought the license straight away, not because I wanted to build this business, but because I wanted to be around people who actually want to change the world. So that was my reasoning behind it. And when I joined, then over time, then it just made more and more sense to me, like why this is like the thing. Because many times when we hear successful people, what they did, what they built, we want that, but our actions or what we do doesn't really reflect it. Meaning, I could have kept building Amazon or any other thing, but when you actually see those who actually have this impact in the world, those who actually care and have this massive influence, they get into something that actually bring like real value, and something that is not which word can I use for this? And something that many people don't know it yet, like really a cutting edge technology. And the more I thought about it, and the more it just made sense to me that this is the thing. If you actually care, like you say, to actually have that impact and build a world, this is what you should be doing. And then over time, it just transformed. And today, that's like what I'm really full in. And it's just incredible to see how when you really align yourself within like principle and something that actually matter, the impact that you can have and your level of influence that you have. Because many people out there, regardless of where they are, their position, what we are doing has more meaning than anything else. So even when I'm talking to someone, regardless of what they have done, when I just tell them what we're doing, they listen. They like they listen to what I'm saying, what I'm talking about, because they know how important it is now, right? Specifically about education and changing the system, right? So I know I talked a lot, but
Oh, that's so
that's kind
good.
of a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah, that's like
of what, yeah.
the appetizer. So, um, just a couple other things I want to highlight on for people. Um, so by the time you got into TechnoTutor, how would you rate your English skills before TechnoTutor versus, let's say, a couple months into using it? Like, can you share that? Because that's profound.
How was it? Like, I cannot really rate it, but I know for a fact that my level right now is my level of speaking English is definitely due to TechnoTutor.
Hmm.
Because when I left Cameroon, I didn't speak any English. Even when I was here in Germany, I didn't speak any English. So I started to look into English when I finished my bachelor degree. Because my master's degree, some lessons or some courses were in English. So that's, but it was, I didn't have to speak at all because the courses you can translate them and read into the language that you want. But when I didn't join, like I could express myself up to a certain level, but I couldn't really have like a profound conversation in English at all. That wasn't really possible.
Wow. And just think about
Right.
that. I mean, I take that for granted because I grew up in America. I grew up speaking English. It's like
Mm-hmm.
my understanding of the language is, pretty high. But to not be able to
Mm-hmm.
grasp and go back and forth and have that, it's like, think of how much of the world you don't get exposed to. One is just because you
Yeah.
can't even have the conversations. But two is even on a resonant level, you're not even going to resonate with certain people because you can't even go there. So you found the way in though. And now, I mean, you're able to talk to some extremely high level people. And you're still, I mean, both of us are still not that far into it. It's not like we've been doing this for a decade yet. Like, imagine
Yeah,
at that
that's like
point.
that's the best part of it is because when I look at like for me it has been like 2.5 years,
Yeah.
like 2.5 years. So, and I look at the progress, the change that I've experienced so far, I'm just really, maybe we are gonna get into those points, but like we have many conversations either through the distributor calls that we have, but a lot of things that a lot of intel or information that we learn about there, and the equaf, the destiny that we learn there, when you combine that, when you actually integrate that into your system, it's just people say, how can I phrase it? When I'm just gonna dive in, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, do it, do
when
it.
people when people first learn about the law of attraction, it's like, damn, I have to raise my vibration. I have to manage my thinking so that I become this high level person who can just create and move as like whatever. A lot of stuff come into our mind when we first encounter that law of attraction. But 5 years doing law of attraction and just feeling like lost and not being able to figure out anything, and now actually being here present as life, I can see the difference. Right now, I'm like that level of understanding of how to actually make shit happen. It's increasing, like I can say every day. Like me just being able to like figure things out, like to create, like people say, I can see that ability going over time, like growing every day, right?
Mm.
And this is all thanks to the tool that we use and the information that we have to that we study, Destiny and Equaf.
And I mean, I see it too. It's like that's one thing where I remember in the past when I first got into law of attraction and all this, it was like, yeah, sure, I could trick myself into saying I feel really good and I'm raising my vibration. And I would even manifest some cool things you'd say, but it'd be like, I don't know, I'd get like access, I'd get VIP access at some party. But it's like, okay, for what reason? Just to say, oh, I feel special. And it's like, but
Mm.
the thing that makes what we do so unique, one of the many things, is it's verifiable. Like I can see firsthand the impact you're having on people. Because, for example, in Berlin, you run a clubhouse. You have consistent meetings with people. Next thing you know, you're like spending a day with a politician and you're like having real conversations about them or with them about policy. And then you come on the calls and I see how much money you're making. I'm like, okay, this is great. And I mean, I'm not surprised, but to someone who hasn't been in this group for a while, they're thinking a lot of times success is just like a feeling. Success is not a feeling. Success is a
I
result
think that's
of
like
you
the
having
biggest,
influence.
that's like the biggest mistake that like ever. That's like the biggest mistake ever because like I don't know, like when I even look at my life, I, I many things didn't make sense to me like throughout my entire life. Many things didn't make sense to me. I couldn't just understand like why things are the way they are, like so many things. And then when I get into the law of attraction and start studying it, yeah, something was still not making sense. Because like if I take, for example, there are many website or many Facebook group out there where you say, okay, types 111 and your life is gonna change, or like so many things like that. And when I was when I used to look at that, I'm like, it just doesn't make sense to me because when I will read a biography of someone, the way they will explain it, something will not match with what every teaching is teaching. It just didn't match. It's like, okay, I see someone, they are running a business, they are explaining how tough it is, they are explaining how much they hate it, but at the end of the day, they succeed and everybody is looking at it and everybody wants it. But when I will then study what makes success, they will say, no, you have to feel good. Like, how does that line up with what I'm reading? Like if you hear Elon Musk, for example, he's constantly just saying how tough it is.
Mhm.
But everybody's admiring what he's doing. Many people are wanting what he's doing. But then in the law of attraction, they will say, no, it has to feel good. It's a vibration. You have to think about it. And all of that, I just couldn't understand it. And then now, thanks to TechnoTutor and the community and Destiny and Equal, I'm more and more understanding what it actually means to create or to attract if we use that words like attracting something. And it's like just that part of playing within our programming, which is like really, really, I think I got this from Every or who, I don't know. It's a, think about it. We all agree that school is like kind of like really not so good, right?
Yeah.
Even people in the law of attraction will tell that school is not good, no, they brainwash you there and stuff like that. So if school was designed by the elite, and also that's kind of where they used to program people to so that people remain slave. And at the same time, this so-called law of attraction is also from them. There are many the one kind of promoting it.
Mhm.
So it's a, how can someone who is wanting to control you give you something that's gonna take you out of his control? Right. So this is kind of the conversation that I sometimes have in my mind. I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me. How can I do that? But I just couldn't find an answer. So until I started to study equal, and I couldn't understand that.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, that's so well said. It's because you It's like you were willing to look at the fact that there might be something more to reality. Like that's real teachability. All these groups talk about, oh, you got to be teachable and open-minded. It's like you were open-minded enough to actually question the whole thing and say,
Mhm.
oh, okay, yeah. So these elite have created the school system. And the elite also like want to help people have some success, but not too much success. But it's like then the whole time there's still that like spark of life within you. That's like, I want to know the
Yeah,
truth. And as they say, the truth hurts. but
yeah,
but
it
then you
really,
can actually get to the point where you can create. Because also, yeah, I mean, not just Elon Musk, but a lot of these other guys. Like I study Jeff Bezos and how he would approach building Amazon. And like there's a story of it was the late 90s when they started to get some success. And he came into the office one day and everyone was celebrating because in the news, they're like, wow, Amazon's making it. They're like, yeah, you guys were doing it. And he like yells at him. He's like, get that shit out of here. And he's like, he put on the wall the newspaper of when they had all the haters coming after him because he basically drove the
mhm.
whole culture by fear, like basically like a slave master whipping everybody with fear. Because he's like, don't you dare celebrate. We're not out of the woods yet. And it's like, that is, do you think he felt good saying that? Do you think he did his meditation that morning, Viany, to make sure he was in alignment? And he was in Facebook groups typing 111. He's like, yeah, 111. Okay, great. It's
There's
like,
something that I really want to emphasize, right? Is this is probably one of the reasons why in my brain or whatever is it, but I like to question things, right? So, and I think we had this conversation maybe with Cameron or maybe with Cameron. I would say when we look at the world today, we are the tendency, right? People are becoming poorer and poorer. Like the level of wealth is really, we are really having that separation in
yep,
between the wealthy and into the have and the have-nots.
yep,
So meaning the middle class is it's becoming to the poorer class.
yeah,
So by looking at that, when I, even if you just look around you, back in the days with $1, you could do a lot. But today it's not the case. So meaning over time, the society has not gotten better, right? You can say, well, we have so many things today. We have a smartphone. With my smartphone, I can do a lot. But the living condition has not improved. It has worsened. So I always think about it. We have the law of attraction on Napoleon Hills. He talked about it in the 90s. So it has been around, let us say, for 100 years.
mm-hmm.
So how come that the more we are talking about it, the poorer the society is getting? This didn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
Like, because people will say, no, we live no more in an abundance. But like, when you look at the data, which is something that I used to hate, data numbers, because they actually tell you the truth.
mm-hmm.
If you are in your mind saying, I'm manifesting like millions, I'm a millionaire, and so on, you actually get how much money you're manifesting when you look at your bank account. That's
Yeah,
where you see
yeah,
like
do
what
your
is
accounting.
what you do, right? So meaning the numbers don't lie. So when I was always looking at that, I was like, something is fishy. Like there's something definitely not right. And nowadays we can see that more and more the more time goes by, the worse the society is getting. Like I even made a post about it. I went to a Toastmaster and one of the speaker didn't come. And then I asked her, hey, like, what's the thing? And her friend was like, well, she works with a company and company laid like over 100 plus people and she's part of them. And she went on explaining how other companies are also laying off people.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And this, I guess, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I just met someone yesterday who had the same thing happen. And it's like
Mhm.
there is a push right now in the system of squeezing out that middle class because AI
Yeah.
is, and we're still just, AI is like in baby form still. Like it's
Mhm.
nowhere near what it's going to be. And people are just not yet ready for it. But that's why we do what we do because we're ready for it. We welcome it. I mean, I know it's going to be unpleasant, but sometimes people have to get smacked in order to wake up. Like both, like you go into your friend's house for 3 months, sleeping on a couch. I also had times where I was sleeping on a couch, but it's like those, sometimes those are the moments where you actually are like, okay, what the hell is actually going on? And you really start to open up to question things. So yeah, but keep going.
And that's and where was I? Yeah,
At the
talking.
Toastmasters.
Yeah, and this then ties down to like what you were saying, like what we're doing. And it's really fascinating because when you look at TechnoTutor, we've been talking about this for like 10 plus years.
Yeah.
That's gonna come. It's gonna come. But people are like, no, it's not for me or whatever. But now we are in a point of society where it's coming faster because AI is like not like any other technology that it really compounds fast. And we are getting into a phase where you're going to be noticing the change of AI on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
At some point, it's going to be like hour to hour basis. You're going to see change, like how things are going to be changing. So that is really something that needs to be addressed in
Mm.
terms of what we always talk about. Like we have the technology. So why can we create something that's actually going to work for everyone? And before I like continue, I want to get back into that point of sometimes we wait until it's kind of like too late before we actually make a move. And I guess it also boils down to the way you have been programmed. Like
Oh
it,
yeah.
everything is programming, but like to 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 have, I think the biggest program that actually allows that to happen is hope.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
hope in
Mm-hmm.
terms of hoping that tomorrow is going to be better than today.
Yeah.
Because same thing at Toastmaster, I met a guy, he's studying data scientist. And I'm like, okay, it's quite cool, but you're studying data scientist now. Like, how are your chances to actually tomorrow find a job within that thing? And he was like, no, I'm confident. And I did. I don't say no, you're not confident, but it's not about confidence. He said, no, I'm confident. I'm positive. I said, dude, I appreciate that, but it's not about confidence. It's not about confidence.
Seriously.
So, and I guess that's like the big point of like just that program of no, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine because it doesn't matter how much miserable I am. I have hope that's gonna be fine. And the changes that are gonna come, it's not like you're gonna die. It's not gonna happen, but it's just that you're gonna be put in a position that you will not like. Like someone's gonna be telling you what to eat, where to go, what to wear, like all of that. You're probably not gonna like it. It may still be fine, but I don't think you're gonna like it because I wouldn't like it. But I guess that's that point of hope that we carry on and just think that it's gonna be fine because we feel hopeless, powerless. And that's also how we've been programmed that no, it's someone else or something else outside of you. It's gonna actually make that happen. And until we actually transcend that point, if you have hope, you cannot attract or create. Like this is if you have hope, you cannot attract or create. It's they don't match.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just to put it super clear for the listeners, like one, I would encourage people write that out for yourself so you can see it for yourself, obviously, because it's one thing for us to say it, it's another thing for each individual to see it themselves. That's and that's what the point is creating is you taking responsibility. And hope is you giving away your responsibility to something outside yourself. It's really that simple. But again, this is why we use TechnoTutor every day, building the vocabulary. I mean, there's a lot of understanding that goes into this. But it is actually, yeah, if you have any sense of hope within you, things are going to get better. Someone's going to take care of it for me. On a very deep level, you are giving away your power. And so you might create some stuff, but it's just going to be, you're not going to create anything new. You're just going to be creating what you're already programmed to do. So is that really creating? Not really. Real creation is from who you are as life itself, as the real abundance that you can be. You can be it. You can be that abundant, magnificent creator that the law of attraction gurus tell you you can be. But if you're giving away your power, giving away your responsibility, you're not gonna create anything new.
No, not at all. It's just impossible to actually do that. And then coming back again to that point of how this is also another point, right? Because when I look at like my journey up until now, at some point we had a Amazon coaching business, right? And this was also another part of my life or my journey where I really understood the importance of what we're doing. Is that within that Amazon coaching business, regardless of how many people would take the coaching program, just maybe like 1 or 2 person will actually do anything with it.
Yep.
Because nowadays, you look online on YouTube or whatever, you see so many people. It looks like so many people are succeeding, right? But in reality, it's not the case. In reality, the majority of people are losing money through whatever coaching program. And they will say, oh, crypto is the new thing. They're like, the majority of people lost money in crypto than those who made it. Same thing with any coaching program, any other coaching program. The majority of people, they just invest in the coaching program, they take the program, and they never do anything with that. So we have that a lot. And this is also what I always emphasize when I'm talking to people, either when they want to build their own business or anything they're wanting to do, is that because we have so much hope, which is sometimes understandable because you are in the position where it's really bad, it's really traumatic, and you want to get out of it. And therefore you have hope that maybe I can get something better. Maybe I can improve my life. Maybe I can change, which is in this moment very good because that hope, that energy is going to allow you to look for solution. The downside of that is because we have that hope, we do not actually pay attention with reality.
Mm-hmm.
We don't look at numbers. We don't even understand numbers because we just don't understand. Nobody ever taught us on numbers. So the only thing that drives us is hope that one day we can get out of poverty, of that miserable situation that we are in. And therefore, we think that success is like everyone is succeeding because when we dive into that world, we start looking at videos, we see people succeeding. And for us, it becomes like, no, everyone is succeeding. I can do it too, which in one point is really good because it actually gets you moving. But the downside is that because of the hope, you do not actually prepare yourself to do what is it that you have, that you need, that is required in order for you to succeed. And therefore, you take your money, your savings, you buy a coaching program, and then you find yourself 2, 3, 5 years later in the same position or worse. And it's then that point of actually rebuilding who you are. Because when I always talk about TechnoTutor, people say it's coaching or it's what I say, no, it has nothing to do with coaching. Stop, it's not coaching. And sometimes what I explain to people is that you can do coaching. Coaching is good, it's valuable, it can help you to work through whatever it is that you have. But TechnoTutor is you actually recreating yourself. because the first 7 years of your life, whatever was programmed inside of you, when you do coaching, it's just to remove the emotion or the trauma of what was programmed inside of you. But money, for example, how many people were taught how to make money? Only the elite.
How to make real
Meaning you
money.
don't. Yeah, to make real money. Of course, that's what I'm talking about. Not to not to get a job. Like we are
Right.
all programmed to have a job, but to actually make real money, I wasn't programmed to make money. Matter of fact, when I grew up, we never talked about money. So that means that program was just completely missing in my foundation. And imagine how many people out there it's the same. And then you go out there and then you say, I want to build a business. You can work hard, you can do whatever, anything, but because that program of money is not inside of you, money, you will say, I don't work for money, or I don't like money, or you are going to use every kind of excuse because that part is always going to be missing, regardless of your effort, of the coaching, or whatever it is that you're doing. And the way I explain to people is that TechnoTutor is that thing that allows you first to correct the program that you have received. That's the first thing. And the second thing is to actually put in your foundation programs that was never taught to you. And that's what you actually need in order for you to be successful. Because like I said, when we watch videos on successful people, what we see as success has nothing to do with success. Like right now, because my natural learning ability is open, my vocabulary is like a little bit better and purified. When I meet someone who has success, I can see why they're successful. Mm-hmm. But to a normal person, because they are just into that hope and emotion that, oh, I would like to be like this person, they don't see those characters. But those people who actually succeed in this system, they have a certain like habits and ethic and like level of boldness and like level of like rudeness that you can see it. They don't show it in the YouTube videos. It's subtle. You can pick it up when you know it. But for the normal person, it's just like, yeah, this is a cool guy. No. Even when you read the biographies of successful people, few words in certain paragraph, they may say a few words, but because I can now process the words, I can just tell you what he means by that. For example, the example that you took earlier with Jeff Bezos, like that little scene, someone will say, well, he's just me. No, it's because you don't understand his programming. You don't understand the programming of success. That's why you are like, why is he doing like that? It doesn't mean that you have to become nasty to be successful, but definitely there's a program around success and money that you definitely need to have. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter how much coaching program you take. It's not going to work. And I can speak from my experience. I've done a lot. Like I've taken like a lot of coaching, either to trade or like to do Amazon or drop shipping. I've done a lot. And I remember I went into South Africa, no, not South Africa, but yeah, South America. I went there and I had like they called it like a deep tissue massage energy thing. I was like, okay, if that's what it takes to be successful, I'm just gonna do it. That was crazy. Like when I think about like so many things that I did in the past, I'm like, man, it's just like crazy.
That shows you how effective the system is at programming people to stay slaves to it. Because then you start thinking, yeah, what this massage is going to somehow get me to attract more money. It's like, okay, the only way that works is if you're actually pushing yourself 7 days a week, you're exhausted and everything. And then for a little bit of time, you do need to actually decompress and recharge. Sure, then get a massage. But then after the massage, you got to go back to work. Whereas most people will be like, oh, I had a massage. Okay. Oh, man, I do need to take some
Where's the money?
Yeah. Where's the money? Yeah, I need to just now like go read some more, and then it just turns into this whole fucking distraction instead of actually just like the program for success. And so now what we got to get into is why, if someone really does want that success, they deep down have that desire of like, I do want to make more money, I do want to make an impact and all that. Why
Mhm.
is this the only way to really do that? Because you can have success in the system. Sure. Now, great. You somehow magically got Amazon FBA to work and you make $1 million a year in profit. Great. Wow. You really hit the jackpot. You're one in 50,000. And
Yeah, maybe
guess
one,
what?
like 1 million.
Yeah. Okay. Now, guess what?
It's crazy.
The World Economic Forum is still going to meet next year in Davos. The UN is still going to do their shit. NATO's still going to do their thing. They're still pushing the Russia-Ukraine thing. They're going to come out with the next pandemic. They're going to force everyone to wear a mask. They're going to try and put surveillance cameras on every street corner and say it's for equity and for the greater good and for the green agenda. But in reality, when you can see it, you can't unsee it. So share a little bit about that vision now and just how what we're doing every day, like why does this way that we're doing make sense? What do you see?
Mhm. Many things. Like for me now, it's it's becoming harder and harder to actually think of anything else
Yeah.
to do. And for someone who is like, who doesn't see it yet, who is still in a position where they're like, no, the only thing that matters is for me to make some more income and yeah, to do something so that I can have more money for myself, for my family. This also took me some time to understand it, which also goes back to the point where because we have such a low processing ability, such a low vocabulary, we do not see so many things. What do I mean by that? We have all heard that when you get into personal development, let us take that one, right? The first thing that they say is what your goal is the goal is the most important thing. And what we do not then understand is we then try to like to take a shortcut into saying that, oh, or maybe I'm gonna back a little bit. The reason why many people get into, let us say, trading, dropshipping, or any other things is because they see or they watch videos on, oh, this guy made $1 million in 3 months, or that guy made this amount of money in 2 months. So this is what attracts people into those kind of things. But what they don't see is that that person, they may have started that program, uh, they may have used 3 months to make that amount of money, but their background, maybe they have been working or doing whatever for the last 2 or 3 years. And when they then reach that point and take that program, that's what allows them to actually go there. But if you were actually to give a time frame of what they used to make that kind of money, it's at least 2 years, 3 years, sometimes 4 or 5. But people don't see that. And that then goes back to why is it important to build this business specifically. It's because this is the only business where you are actually going to learn what the business is, where you're actually going to learn how to make money, where people are actually going to show you what to do to make money. Because all those coaching programs, they show you the technical aspect of what is it that they're doing, but they never show you the back end of who they are as a person. They never talk about where they come from. They grew from what kind of family. They were programmed to become successful, and then later on they make money with whatever, and then that's how they make their money. Now they're saying you're a program, you take the program and you never see any result. And now we are also coming to a point where, regardless of what you're doing, like how likely is it that the AI doesn't take it? If you are doing marketing, if you are doing drop shipping, or if you are trading, AI is going to be able to do that. And those who are going to benefit from it are those who actually have the money to have access to AI. And that's just going to lead where that separation where only few people are actually going to have profit from it. So now for us, this is now an opportunity, regardless of who you are, to actually do something that matters. Because nowadays, when I see the people that I talk with that have gotten TechnoTutor that we're talking, it's just to see the kind of impact that we are already having. We are still new into it, like you said in the beginning, but the kind of impact that we are having already, it's like, it's huge. Because I also, like you shared earlier, when you start that, oh, I have to make money, you don't see how fucked up you are until you start making some money. When you start
Seriously.
making some money, that's the where you realize how fucked your life is. Because that point of like, because when you don't have money, all your attention is directed to money, 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 money. But when you start to have some, because that point is not there anymore, you start seeing how messed up your life is, how unhappy and sad your life is. So, and then having a technology that allows you first to make money and also to work on those points, reprogram those points, and support other people building a community, it has everything that a person could ever need. It allows you to make money. It allows you to have great relationships. It allows you to have a community. It allows you to have an impact in the world. So it literally has every single aspect of everything. Because if you're building websites, when you build website, okay, after that, you're going to say, okay, what's my purpose in this world? Why am I here? Why am I alive? But when you are doing this, it has everything. It has a purpose. You're here to create life. You're here to support other people. You're here to build another community. Because at the end of the day, it boils down just to your community.
Yeah.
This one is like a tough one to understand, because we think that money is everything, but at the end of the day, even those who quote unquote control the world, they don't care about money. You can print money. I mean, when you get to a certain point, money is just like a piece of paper, but it's becomes to how much impact can you have in the people that are around you? How much impact can you have in your community? And to have that impact in your community, you have to work with your community. You have to even build that community. And this, what we're doing, it's like all in one. It allows you to grow as a person. It allows you to make money, and it allows you to build a community. And on top of that, it then allows you to actually create a world that's really amazing for everyone. So there are many reasons, but those could be the 4 reasons that I can just point out. It's going to allow you to make money. It's going to allow you to be fulfilled, to have a purpose. It's going to allow you to have a community, to build that community. Because people say, yeah, your network is your net worth, but they don't understand what that means. Because they say that, but the only thing that they will be focusing on is, man, how can I make money? How can I make money? But the beauty about TechnoTutor is that it has all those points that, regardless of if you focus on that or not, at the end of the day, you're going to have a community. Regardless if you put your attention in that or not, you're going to have money, you're going to have a community, you're going to have power or impact in the community, regardless of whatever is it that you're focusing on. It has all that package.
Right. And then guess what happens? You feel pretty damn good. It's like the thing that all these success minded people are looking for, the I want to feel good. Well, you feel good when you build a system that creates value for people and then they thank you for it. And then you hang out
Yes.
together on the weekends. And it's like, I'm raising, like, Jessica and I have our son, and now he's going to be surrounded by all his
Shout out
kids.
to Aristotle.
Yeah. Like it's that is really feeling good because now in the back of my mind, there's no concern of like, oh shit, I hope no one takes my job from me. Oh, I hope that they don't wipe out the middle class. It's like I already know that that's coming. So now, and there's not a concern about it. It's just I know what I'm going to do every day. Like every Saturday, I map out the upcoming week. And then that's the phase I'm at now where I can take a day off on Sunday. But there might be a time where I can't take a day off on Sundays. Or on Sundays is when I then go travel, and because we're building offices on the East Coast right now. So it's like I'm able to be flexible in how I approach things, but I am unwavering in what I stand for and what we're here to do. And so it gives you a peace of mind that none of the other stuff can. Because in the back of your mind, you remember doing Amazon FBA, or when I was doing drop shipping, in the back of your mind, you're like, PayPal is going to squeeze me out. Amazon's going to come steal my store. Shopify, and you just hope then you get a good exit. And oh, great, I made 500K. That's going to last how long?
It's just like crazy. It's just like crazy. And like it's just like crazy because even when you hear people say, well, I made 30K, 100K, whatever K with Amazon, I always laugh because Amazon, unless you're like a big guy in Amazon, you are not making money.
Yeah.
Because in your 30K or 50K or whatever, ad is crazy on Amazon. You pay like maybe $5 or €5 for one click.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
you're
then you got the
making all that money.
fees. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it's crazy. It's just like and those are all things that people don't see. That's what I was saying earlier. You're not in the back end. You don't see that. And yeah, at the end of the day, like you were saying, right now it's like I'm moving a lot, traveling as well, which is pretty cool too. That's what I was saying. Like TechnoTutor building this business has everything within it. I'm traveling not because I have to travel, maybe I have to, but at the same times, when I travel, I combine work with fun.
Mm-hmm.
We were in San Diego, I don't know, maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
I spent like, I don't know, almost 2 months there,
Yeah.
like 10 or 11 days or
Yeah. We're
something
like
like
hanging
that.
out, like
And then,
eating sushi, but also like
yeah,
talking about this stuff with, you know,
yeah,
30 other people like at a restaurant. And it's like, this is amazing. Because what? You want to go on vacation and get drunk and just like, I don't know, try and forget your life? It's like, hell no. Like, I want to actually go on vacation, have fun. We're swimming at the beach, hanging out at the pool, sitting in the hot tub while talking about this stuff. you know?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's like so many things, but traveling now, traveling really lately a lot, and at the same time, it's not like I'm waiting for because sometimes as well people say, "Oh, I'm waiting for this time to travel, or whatever." No, I just travel as they come because I know at the same time that regardless of where I am, where I'm going, the business is being built,
Mhm.
which is also the beauty about this is that regardless of like where I'm going, I know that I'm still in that process of building. And also, it looks literally nothing like the way I have imagined success. It looks like completely different because, like I said, when I used to watch the videos of successful people, you have that image in your head about how success is gonna be like. Oh my, when you have money, it's gonna be like. It has nothing to do with that. And it also shows how they are just using that to brainwash people into selling them a dream or a vision. And it's just sad because people actually never get there.
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
to actually get those things. It's just sad. And always when I'm talking to people right now, we have a group of many people using TechnoTutor, and it's just cool to see how other people, because I guess it's a seeing the changes within myself. Like sometimes well, that's just because of me, because I have so many things that I'm working toward it. I'm always saying, yeah, it's not working fast enough. But the people that are around me say, man, like, what happened to you? Like, what is going on? What's going on? They can see the change. But the greatest pride comes when someone that I'm supporting with TechnoTutor hit a milestone or hit something or
Yeah.
see something that happens in your life. And this is always that point of actually seeing, like, what just popped in my mind now was like the way we have been programmed, right? Is to do everything that we can to avoid responsibilities. Like do everything that you can to avoid responsibilities. But the position where I am now, I can see that everything that brings me result is where I take responsibilities.
Mm.
So
Hmm. Hmm.
it's just now to take that responsibility to support other people, to share that with other people. This is what has allowed me to be where I am right now, just by taking responsibility. But that word, like taking responsibility, is something that we unconsciously want to avoid responsibility. We unconsciously want to be at a position where we are responsible for something. Because if it goes wrong, what if it goes wrong? If it goes wrong, you're in trouble. And because we don't want to be in trouble, we have been programmed to avoid everything, trouble and stuff like that. And therefore, we don't do that. But like I said, when I see now people taking it, I got a message from a client of mine, and it was pretty intense. It was pretty intense. So it's a lady, and she has 4 kids. And like when she got TechnoTutor, part of her getting TechnoTutor was to learn English and also to work on herself. She didn't really know like what aspect of her life, but she wanted to work on herself. And when she got it, one day I text her to say, hey, you have been using it for a while now. So like, how has it impacted your life? And why did you even get it? And she told me that when I first got it, yeah, I wanted to learn English, and I also wanted to just work on myself, improve my confidence and stuff like that. But what I'm really proud of now, beside how she has a daughter, she's like 2 years old, and her daughter, within like, I don't know, 2 weeks, was reading.
Wow.
Like before TechnoTutor, her daughter, she barely knew the alphabet. But when she got TechnoTutor, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks, her daughter she knew the alphabet, she could read, and they live here in Germany. And TechnoTutor, they were doing it in English. And one day she sent me a video of her daughter reading words in German. I was like, oh, that's cool. So you put those words into TechnoTutor? She was like, no. Like, I myself, I don't understand it. They never did it in German. They did like the alphabet in English, some words in English, and here was her daughter reading German. I was like, whoa, I was blown away. But beside that, she had an issue. She was abused sexually when she was young.
Mm.
And she didn't even know that. Like she couldn't,
Wow.
for her, she didn't know that anymore. But she saw how in her life she was very aggressive toward her husband. She couldn't explain why. So with using TechnoTutor, she she figured that out, or she found that out by using TechnoTutor, that she was abused by a member of her family. And by using TechnoTutor then to work through that, she said, my marriage has changed. Even the way now that I communicate with my children has changed. That aggressiveness that I used to have is not there anymore. So, like, to get a message like that, like, what price can you put on that? So, none. And that's one of many, right?
Yeah.
So by getting this kind of message, it's really touching.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
Because that's real value right there. Like that's so much value right there. And there's like the old way of thinking where like success is got to make money selling pillows on Amazon, got to make money selling this, whatever. And then there's like, oh, wow, real success is like actually helping one new person a day realize, oh my God, my life is messed up. I can change it. And then they do. And then that ripples into their family, their relationships, their community, and all that. You just do that day after day after day after day after day. Imagine in 1,000 days, what, 3 years, whatever. It's like that is impact. And then you empower other people to do that too. I mean, that's success. And then along the way, you find your wife. Like I found my wife through building this business. I was going out to events and then I found her right after I put in my TechnoTutor. I have the best wife. And my old relationship fell apart and Jessica came into my life. And now we have a baby. That would not be possible without these tools, this community.
Yeah.
And then that has an impact on other people.
And on that point, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and then that ripples into then Drake and Christine and all these other relationships. It's like so much good comes from this. So when people have an image of success in their mind, consider use that as your image. Real people really coming together, really providing value, really changing themselves, changing the system within yourself to change the system in the outside world. That's how you do it.
And like on that point, I really want to share this with those who are already using TechnoTutor. Is when I joined, like I said earlier, most of the time, other people tell me how I'm changing. Because for me, based on where I'm going, it's still not enough. But what I really want to emphasize to those already using TechnoTutor is to understand programming. And what I mean by that is many times when someone uses TechnoTutor, you're going to see in the community, there are people that even after one day, they're going to tell you, oh, this has changed, this has changed, this has changed, this has changed. And then someone will say, but I also used it for like one day and then I didn't see that. Is to understand that everything is programming. And based on your programming that you have had as a child, that's what's going to determine how fast or how slow you're going to see some result with TechnoTutor. And this is really key because sometimes people use it like for one day and then they say, I'm not seeing anything. But it's to understand programming and to understand that based on where I come from, that's why it's really individual. It's like you have to reprogram yourself based on based on like where is it that your programming is. And not to this is tough to like not to compare your result with other people. I do that. That's why I know that it's tough. But it's to understand that even if you're doing that, do not stop using it consistently, and also writing yourself forgiveness, and most importantly, applying yourself. Because if you do your TechnoTutor but you don't apply yourself, like how will you even know what you need to change? Because this also goes to people saying out there, I want to be the best version of myself. I want to be the best version of myself. Like, what does that even mean? And I was talking with a girl yesterday and she was saying the same thing. And I was like, yeah, you're not going to get there because it doesn't mean anything. And that's why I know for you and I that we are more likely to actually get that best version of ourselves. Why? Because our goal is to create a world that's best for everyone. And in order to get there, you're going to have to build yourself, to grow, to develop yourself to actually get there. And that's how you become the best version of yourself. Meaning your best version of yourself is just going to be as big as your goal. If your goal is to make 10K a month for the rest of your life, that's what your best version is going to be like. So to say, I want to be the best version of myself, it's not really true, because your best version is going to be based on your goal. That's why really being in this mission to create a world that's best for all, it's actually how you become your best self.
Seriously. And then with that too is like, I mean, you hinted at it earlier. I just got to hit this point again. When you start making money, you really see another layer of your programming. Because it's one thing to make money, you know, sometimes you get lucky, other times you actually provided value systematically and you got paid for it, great. But then you start to see the deeper stuff. And this is really, if someone doesn't have TechnoTutor, you're never going to change this. People are like, oh yeah, watch a YouTube video on reprogramming my mind. It's like, it's just some bullshit that someone sold you on. We have the actual tools to do it. And we have hundreds and hundreds of testimonials. Just look on YouTube for TechnoTutor. Like you can see it. I have playlists. Viany's got playlists. We'll send them to you. But the real value is then over time, as you start to change your programming. Then you see the deeper stuff. It's like peeling an onion. And all of a sudden now you got, I don't know, 40 grand in the bank and you're like, I should spend this. I need a course. I need this. It's like, that's where my mind went to. It's like, oh, I need to learn more things. I was like, no, hold on. I just need a system for how I process my cash flow. So when I got extra profit coming in every month, you know, some goes to here, some goes to there, you know, reinvest back in the business to grow it more. Because we deep down all have that fear of, if I stand up and make too much of a change, something bad will happen. It's the Jesus crucifixion program. It's like, who are you to try and change things? But the way that we actually change things is by all of us stepping up, taking the most responsibility we can, and doing that over decades. You know,
Yeah.
and that ripples into the kids and then the grandkids and all that. So by the time that they're our age, or they're, you know, in their 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever, it's like they're able to actually create what we would call heaven on earth. You know, and if we don't do it, guess what? It's not like, oh, it'll just be fine and it'll kind of be like the same. It's like, no, AI, what I'm thankful for AI is it's speeding up everything. The pandemics too, they just sped up everything to show, if we don't step up, we're literally going to put ourselves into a really nasty situation where it's going to be even harder to stand up. So
100%.
yeah, so
100%.
like what would you say? So for someone who's listened to this whole thing, what well, let me ask you this other question too. So I call the show Purpose and Reality because they're the two most important things. Purpose and the reality that, you know, we're here. What does that mean to you, those two words?
Purpose and reality. Um, I watched the video. I can't remember what group it was in. Maybe in the, anyway, it doesn't matter. But there was this girl, she posted the video of Andrew Tate, and he was talking about the Matrix, like talking about the Matrix and so on. And the liner or the title that she wrote, that girl wrote, was, man, this guy, he's so right. That's why we really need to raise our vibration and go into the 5D world. I was like, this is fucked. Like,
I think
this
he meant
is
to say
actually
5G. We need to raise our vibration so he'll have 5G on our phones so we can just welcome the AI overlords quicker.
man, like that was when it's just incredible how much we take our physical body and this physical world for granted, that we think, because that's still a programming, because we have been programmed learning that my thinking, my mind is the most important thing, right? Which is also from the people trying to take control over you, telling you that, no, that's the most important thing. Your energy, your mind, that's the most important thing. But reality is actually where we are here. Because even when someone says, I want to be happy, I want to make my money, I just want to have a real relationship, they base that on what you see in the physical reality. But they think that in their mind, they want to get away from this world because they don't have that in this world. That's why they want to go somewhere else where they could possibly have it. So that's why people are wanting to escape reality, because they are not getting the stuff that they want in this physical reality, right? And this reality is actually where everything matters, because if you want a Ferrari, guess what? The Ferrari is here. If you want a Lambo, the Lambo is here. It's not in the 3D world. So this is also another delusion that we get caught on into. We want a Lambo, at the same time we want to get away from this world, but we forget that all of that Lambo, money, beautiful women, money, all of that is in this physical reality, right? So the physical reality for me is actually here where everything's happened. Like here where you can actually have, I don't know, a plant like this one, or like everything that you want is here. Your food that you eat, the people that you meet, that's physical reality. And the purpose part is to actually understand like who I am, like who I am, who am I, or who are you? Because part of why the world is in the position where it is because we don't actually know who we are. And therefore, it's so easy to listen and just do anything, even to destroy the world or destroy the society, because I'm not fitting in. When I don't fit somewhere, I just want to get away from it. And that's what's happening, is because people having this purpose is actually understanding and knowing who I am. And when that purpose is lacking, then I don't fit in anymore. And therefore, I don't really care about it. I can destroy it. I can just like run away from it because I don't understand it. I don't fit in. But having the purpose actually allows you or me to understand who I am and how I actually fit in, so that I can be part of it. Because at the end of the day, even those who are saying, I want to go to the 5G or to the whatever dimension, it's that sense of belonging that's missing. They don't feel like they belong here. And they like, it's not just a feeling, but even around them, they don't have people that actually welcome them. And when that's missing, yeah, we can destroy it, because I don't belong to it anyway. So why would I care about it? So the purpose is actually to understand who I am and how I actually fit into this world. Like it's like to actually understand like who I am and how I actually fit here. Yeah, who I am. Who am I as life here? What's my role here in this world? And that's why both are so key, to understand the physical reality and to understand who I am, so that I can then see my role within this society that I'm part of.
Well said. So for someone listening to this, what can they do now, right? Because a lot of people listen to podcasts and then they're like, yeah, wow, I just feel better. I feel like expanded. And then they go
Yeah, I
back
like
to
this
do the same
one.
thing. Yeah.
I like this one. I think I got it from Asif. He said, whenever you are emotional, it means you're not understanding. Which means,
That's
so
good.
if you hear this and you are being emotional, it could be both way. It could be that you're really excited, or it could be that you're pissed. Like either way is fine. It's still just an emotion that's being generated inside of you. I'm pretty sure like Mitch had said this like over and over, but I'm also gonna say the same thing because I'm not creating it. I'm not kind of like the guru, like this is how it is, just do it like this. But we are just studying the same materials. We are just studying the same material, and we are coming to these conclusions. So I would just advise you to start studying Destiny, TechnoTutor, Equaf. If you're not part of Self-Perfected, join, because you're then going to get more into day-to-day practicality of what to do. Because you cannot do it on your own, regardless of what it is that you want to do. Even if you want to do trading or Amazon, regardless of what you want to do, you cannot do that alone, because it's like being a child again. If you don't have parents around you to actually show you what to do and how to do it and why you should do it, you will not get to the finish line. And here, then getting into Self-Perfected and getting your TechnoTutor and then studying Destiny and Equaf, it actually gives you the roadmap of what to do, how to do it, and why you should do it. So if someone is listening to this, if you don't have TechnoTutor, I would say that's the first step. Otherwise, anything else will not matter. That's like the first step, like get TechnoTutor. And when you get TechnoTutor, you like, what's the word in English? You spontaneously get someone, a buddy or mentor or coach, however you want to call it, who will guide you on this journey, like how to use it and stuff like that. So you definitely you get that support right away when you get TechnoTutor, which is the reason why I got TechnoTutor in the first place. I got TechnoTutor, not like, yes, it kind of makes sense to me, but the main reason was because I'm gonna be part of like this group, people who actually understand things, people who can guide me. That's like that's the main reason why I got TechnoTutor. So, and you get that, it just comes with it. So get TechnoTutor and then join the group Self-Perfected, so that there you can be around other people who are walking the same journey. And then on a day-to-day basis, you are then going to find out what to do. Because it's not like, okay, I'm going to give you the 10 rules of success and then that's how you're going to make it. No, it's more than that. So, but the basics are like get TechnoTutor, join Self-Perfected, and that's where you start the journey.
Mm-hmm. That's great, man. Well, thank you. I know over the months and years to come, we will do many more episodes like this, because we are serious when we say we're here to change the system, and we know how the system works. And so that involves, of course, amassing many, many, many people doing this journey, building local communities, clubhouses, changing the culture, changing society, changing the media, then changing politics and the laws, because that's the laws are the programming of society. And along the journey, I mean, like, how cool of a journey is this? So everyone's like, I want to make the biggest impact. I want to change the world. It's like, actually, like, this is how you do it. And this is, I mean, it's the most fun thing I could imagine. It's the most fulfilling thing. Of course, there are times when it's challenging and it's hard. It's not going to be easy, but did you really want your life to just be easy? Like when you really look at it, you're like, I'm at the end of my life. I'm so glad my life was easy. It's like, no one fucking says that. It's like, my life was great. Like, I had the greatest impact. That's really what people are going to want to say at the end of their life. This is how you do it. So yeah, if you want to reach out to Viany, in the description, I'll make sure there's a link to his Facebook and his Instagram. He's very active. I love Viany's posts, and he's like front lines, literally talking to politicians in Germany. It's so fun every time I see one of his posts, and he's getting like censored on Facebook now. Like, there's a lot going on. We didn't even really get into that yet, but I'll have to have you on again sometime soon, and we can go into that. But then if you want to hang out with us, join Self-Perfected. We're on the calls every Friday, and reach out to us about TechnoTutor, and I'm looking forward to the future, man. It's amazing. So yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Glad you tuned in. Share this episode with people who need to hear it. And I look forward to continuing the journey with everyone here. All right. Bye, everyone.